So we're a couple of weeks into the NFL and fantasy football season, and I'll be honest, after the first 2 weeks, I really haven't been keeping track in terms of these videos and how my suggestions have been working out, good, bad, or otherwise. If any of you want to take on that chore, then I would appreciate it greatly. Otherwise, I will go back and do it at some point. I know week one was kind of and I think week two was kind of I guess it would depend on your perspective. Some of you probably helped tremendously. Some of you were probably hurt by it. I think a lot of people that asked for my advice last minute via Twitter, pfspot_Schlegel, seem to benefit greatly from my advice for week number two. So hopefully I can lend some good advice to you here in week number three with my fantasy football sit start. Let's start off with quarterbacks and the ones you should consider sitting. I'll go with Big Ben of Pittsburgh going against Carolina. Carolina's defense is very stout. I'm just not sold on Pittsburgh doing well against Carolina, especially seeing as how they only managed to put up, 6 points against the Ravens last weekend. I think you need to take a pass on them. Honestly, Nick Foles of the Eagles taking on the Redskins. It might seem crazy to bench him, but he hasn't been that great. And the Redskins defense through 2 weeks has looked pretty solid, in particular their ability to get consistent pass rush on opposing quarterbacks. Yes, that might have just come against the Jaguars largely, but still, they look like a much improved defensive unit, and this is a divisional rivalry game, so Foles might not have a great afternoon. Same thing for Colin Kaepernick of the 49ers taking on the Cardinals. That 49ers offense really lacks explosiveness, and Kaepernick looked bad last week. I think you're better off with other options. Some of those options to consider starting this week, I'll go with Jay Cutler of the Bears taking on the Jets. Even though he only had 176 yards passing last week, he did have 4 touchdowns. But you look at this matchup against the Jets on Monday night, and it looks ripe for the picking. That Jets secondary is boo-boo. Their run defense is outstanding, meaning Cutler might have to throw a lot, which means he might put up some big numbers. If you're looking to gamble a little bit and roll the dice and hope that you get a big vintage day out of him, maybe Tom Brady of the Patriots taking on the Raiders. I mean, it is the Raiders. So you would have to hope if Brady's going to have a big game that this would be it. So you might want to start him over maybe somebody like a Kaepernick if you're in that situation. And then Joe Flacco of the Ravens taking on the Browns. The Browns have given up a lot of yards the first couple of weeks, and Flacco looked pretty good last week against Pittsburgh. Flacco is a guy that's probably sitting on many of your waiver wires. If you're in need of a quarterback assistance, he might be a guy to go after this week. Moving on to running backs, and those you should consider sitting first. And this is a rough week for some of you guys that took these running backs in the first round. Matt Forte of the Bears taking on the Jets. Again, the Jets are outstanding against the run, and the Bears did nothing on the ground last week against the Niners. Cutler outgained Forte on the ground. Forte's matchup not looking good. Similar to Eddie Lacy of the Packers taking on the Lions. Lacy hasn't done much through the first 2 weeks of the season, and Detroit's run defense is really solid as well, largely due to that front four. Not a favorable matchup at all. You might want to consider not getting stuck with a 4 or 5 point effort from him. And Monte Ball of the Broncos taking on the Seattle Seahawks. While I'm not sure the pass rush is as good as it was last year, and I'm not sure their secondary is as good as it was last year, they still are a very tough team to run the football against, and I think it could be a tough day for Monte Ball on the ground. Of course, I say that, and he'll get some type of vulture goal line touchdown, some flukish type of shit. But running backs, you should consider starting this week. I look at Jock Bell of the Lions. He's the primary weapon in the backfield, the primary ball carrier for the Lions, and he's going up against what seems to be a relatively favorable matchup against the Packers. Stephen Ridley of the Patriots taking on the Raiders. For all of you that thought that Shane Vereen was going to be the lead back all season, this is what's so frustrating about Belichick and that Patriots offense when you're looking at it from a fantasy standpoint. You don't know what the fuck he's going to do, but Ridley looks like he could be in a great position to have a nice day, especially a touchdown or two against that bad Raiders defense. And then I'll go with Bernard Pierce of the Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Pittsburgh run defense is very bad, and Pierce looked a lot better in week number 2, and I think he could have a nice day against a Browns defense that's been torched the first couple of weeks. So maybe instead of going with some of these first round picks that you have like Forte or Lacy or Monte Ball, look at these secondary guys like Jock Bell or Stephen Ridley or Bernard Pierce. And now let's go to wide receivers, starting with the ones you should sit this week. Riley Cooper of the Eagles taking on the Redskins. Why would you start Riley Cooper at this point? What real motivation do you have? Just don't do it. Marcus Colston of the Saints taking on the Vikings. This matchup doesn't look tremendous for Colston, and he didn't do anything in week number 2, coming off of a relatively strong week number 1, minus that overtime fumble. And then DeAndre Hopkins of the Texans taking on the Giants. The Giants' defense isn't very good, and Hopkins has scored a touchdown each of the first 2 weeks. But it's one of those things that doesn't seem like it's sustainable. And he's getting limited targets in the passing game. Fitzpatrick is his quarterback. I find it hard to believe that Hopkins will score another touchdown this week. So even if he gets a few more targets and a few more yards, he might put up 5 or 6 points. Wide receivers to consider starting this week. I go to Steve Smith Sr. I can't believe I have to say senior. Of the Ravens taking on the Browns. The Browns secondary has been getting torched this year, and Steve Smith looks like a beast for the Ravens, and Joe Flacco looks like he wants to force feed him the ball. That means a lot of opportunities, a lot of potential catches, and a lot of potential yards, maybe a touchdown thrown in, and you've got to consider starting him. Percy Harvin of the Seahawks taking on the Broncos. The Broncos didn't know what to do with him in Super Bowl 48, and I don't think they'll have a great way figured out of how to play against him. Harvin's got all different types of opportunities on how he can touch the ball. I think you got to look at him. And Cordero Patterson, last week I told you to sit him, and I had good reason. This week against the Saints, again, the Saints have been giving up a lot. They're prone to some big plays. I look at Patterson now that they have another week to game plan without Adrian Peterson in the fold. You would think at some point in time, somebody in that Vikings organization would say, hey, we're being a bunch of ding-dong, dumb dicks. Let's figure out a way to get this athletic freaking freak the ball. I think he scores a touchdown this week, and that makes him a start for you. And I got one with an asterisk, and that's Deshaun Jackson of the Redskins taking on the Eagles. If Deshaun Jackson is healthy enough to play, you got to take the gamble and start him. You know he's got to be chomping at the bit to go at Chip Kelly and the Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of times these revenge games work out beautifully for you in fantasy football. So if he plays, if he starts, I think you got to go with Deshaun Jackson if you have the opportunity to, because it could pay off tremendously. And I really don't have much for you for tight ends this week, so I'm just kind of skipping them. Sorry. If you have individual questions, like I said, go to Twitter, pfspot_Schlegel, and tweet them to me. I'll close this out by talking about defenses and special teams, and then a couple of guys you should maybe consider picking up. Defenses to consider sitting this week. I'll look at Seattle going against Denver. Yeah, they only gave up 8 points to them in the Super Bowl, but keep in mind they did give up quite a bit of yardage to the Broncos, and you would assume the Broncos will be better this time around. Do you really want to take that chance? I don't think you need to. And then you look at Detroit taking on Green Bay. The Lions' defense hasn't been terrible at all, actually solid the first 2 weeks. But Green Bay is still Green Bay, and they have the ability to score points in bunches. Do you really want to, again, take that gamble? I don't think you need to. I think you could go to the waiver wire potentially and find a couple of defenses that could have some nice outings for you this week. I look at Dallas taking on St. Louis. Dallas's defense hasn't been nearly as bad as anticipated the first 2 weeks. It really hasn't. Look at that Niners game. The Niners got out on them early, but that was just as much from the Cowboys shooting themselves in the foot. But that defense held up sometimes when they needed to, and they played really well against the Titans offense. So, the Rams offense is kind of That might be a good matchup for you. And then Indianapolis against Jacksonville. If you're going to start Indianapolis's defense at any point in time this year, guaranteed they're going to be on your freaking waiver wire. So I think they're damn near in negative points after 2 weeks. You got to think the Jaguars, who have scored 27 points, in 2 games, that's 13.5 points a game, who got sacked a ton, 10 times I believe it was, by the Washington Redskins in week 2. You got to think the Colts might be able to force a turnover or two. They might be able to hold them to a low point total, a low yardage total, get a couple of sacks. Hell, it might be worth the gamble for you this week. In terms of players to pick up or consider picking up for this week and for going forward, I look at running backs. You're looking at guys like Donald Brown of the San Diego Chargers with Ryan Matthews out for a few weeks. Donald Brown, I would assume, would take over as the lead ball carrier. Then you could also look at maybe his teammate, Danny Woodhead. Maybe Woodhead would get some opportunities and some touches. So if Brown isn't available, maybe Woodhead is. He gets some opportunities in the passing game. Niall Davis of the Chiefs. How long could he potentially play? Could Jamal Charles even play this week and make it a non-factor? Perhaps. But with Jamal Charles' injury history, maybe Niall Davis is more so a guy you need to add for later on in the season, because when he's gotten opportunities so far this year, he's looked pretty good. And then I look at the Vikings' Jerick McKinnon. It looks like Asiata will be the starter in week number 3, but limited talent. I'm putting it nicely. McKinnon has more physicality, in my opinion. He's more explosive. He's quicker. He's faster. He can do a lot more things. At some point in time, until an AP and they come to a decision of whether or not he's going to come back sometime this year, you're looking for a gamble that could pay off for you in a couple weeks, maybe scooping up a guy like a Jerick McKinnon now, storing him in the deep portions of your bench and hoping it pays off in a couple of weeks might be the route to go for you. If you have any other fantasy questions, again, what do? Go to Twitter at @PFSpot_Schlegel. Like I said, if anybody wants to tell me how I did the first 2 weeks in terms of my fantasy recommendations and keep track of me for week number 3, I'd appreciate it greatly. Thank you.